Hello. Good evening. Welcome to the Talkin Kop. We've finished at the Vitality Stadium by a lovely scoreline of Bournemouth 0, Liverpool 4. Here for a little post-match reaction with my two regulars, Kev, Chris. Cheers to you, lads. Kev, of course, is on his weight loss challenge, so probably not on the cans. There you go. Nice mug of tea, no milk, no sugar, in a cracked cup and all.
That's
Kev, how did you like our
vodka.
return after 20 long days of no Premier League action? How'd you like that?
Oh, you couldn't help but enjoy that game. It was a good game to watch. If you're a neutral watching that, it was a good game. And I can tell you, hand on heart, the weather conditions are unreal. We're smack in the middle of that storm Aisha at the minute. And my missus just had to go and pick my daughter up from work because they closed early. They're doing some building work outside of where she works, and the scaffolding came down in the wind. It's crazy, and the wind and the weather that they had to play in over there today was crazy, and it was just it was a scattergun game. Anything could happen, and it was tight. It was nip and tuck for a long time. I didn't think Bournemouth played badly. I just thought we were ruthless, and you know the old stereotypes go back. We don't do well after coming back off a long break. What will we be like? Will we be able to pick up the pace? A lot of questions were answered today. And it set up the second half of the season brilliantly. Absolutely delighted with it.
Yeah. It's not a lot of negatives to take out of that one, is there, Chris?
No, man, perfect performance. That is a team that has decided we're winning the Football League. They've just decided now that, that sort of performance you want to do. And look, we saw a lot of cry-arse in last week when City got a late winner, which is annoying, but they got one. Flick it the other way around. We just won a game. We go within 2 points of City with a game in hand. City got a tricky away. And you think, 0-0 half time, this is good. Second half, they blitz them 4-0. And you go, for fuck's sake. That's not what we need. We are becoming that team. Will Liverpool win the league or not? I don't know. But Liverpool have clearly realised there is a Football League to win, and they are going for it and going for big time. And I'm loving this Klopp no excuse mentality, which is, we've got injuries. It's all right. I'll throw Bradley in at right back. Jones goes in. It's all right. I'll throw Clark on it. It's like you forgot Jones had gone off because Clark did the exact same job. Brilliant. And the lads who are getting loads of shit, Darwin Nunez, who I think gets over the top stick, is now 10 goals, 10 assists in 31 games. He's the fifth fastest to do that in a season in Liverpool's history, which is quite impressive. And I believe somebody pointed out to me on social media, I think he's the first person this year to get to double-figure goals and assists. So while we all agree he can do better finishing, things aren't as bad as worried mancunians would make you feel bleed. So do you know what, guys? Just embrace it, enjoy it. This is what you want to be in it for. We're in a title race. Enjoy it. It's great.
Yeah. If you subscribe to my line of thinking, we've been in a title race since before the season even kicked off, because if you can't think we're going to win the league, then what's the point of supporting this team right now? So before we get into it proper, you guys all know the drill. If you're in here watching, please hit the like button for us. Hit us with your comments. You guys absolutely make the show what it is. Firing in with the comments there. I see a lot of the regular names in the chat there as well. I'm going to hit it early. I'm going to hit it often. We've got our charity drive that we're going on right now. The GoFundMe page is set up. You'll find the link in the show description on YouTube, in the show description on your podcast if you're listening afterwards, on any of the Talkin Kop social media. We're trying to raise 10,000 euros for both the Lighthouse in Dublin and fan supporting food banks in Liverpool. If you follow Liverpool at all, you should be well aware of what fan supporting food banks is. They're outside the ground every single day, taking donations, taking money, contributions, anything from the match-going fans to support the local food banks in Liverpool, which it's not just the Liverpool food banks. We're supporting the Liverpool one because we're a Liverpool Football Club podcast, but food banks everywhere need a ton of help because a lot of people are really struggling. And that goes the same with the Lighthouse in Dublin. I'm sure pretty much every major city has a place like the Lighthouse, which is there to provide hot meals for people that need it. And I mean, it's not just, I've heard a few of the other, Gab talking about it. It's not just people that are homeless. There are people that are missing meals because they got to pay the electrical bill, especially with you guys getting some, rather unsavory weather over there. Times are tough and people are having to make tougher decisions than I'm sure any of the three of us and a lot of people in the chat have to make. So a place like the Lighthouse where people can go and get a good meal is fantastic. And then if you're feeling lucky, there's about 50 tickets left on footballprizes.co.uk. They're £3.99 a piece. It is a double framed, signed Xabi Alonso, Steven Gerrard jersey in a frame with LED lights and a little TV in it that plays highlights of the Istanbul final. And if that isn't right up your alley as a Liverpool fan, I don't know what else is. So if you get on that quick, that contest is closing quick. But that's all the housekeeping out of the way. Let's get into the lineups. Kev, not a ton of surprises. Bradley was pretty much always going to get his first Premier League start for Liverpool. The front three, you got to pick 3 out of 4 there. The midfield, Elliott or Gravenberch. What did you think of that lineup when you saw it?
Yeah, no, I was happy with it. I was just curious as how we were going to line up, who was going to play on the right, how we were going to set up. And when you look at what Bournemouth had on the other side of it, front 4 with pace, guile, bit of trickery, good delivery, and they're in form as well. So it was going to be, you had Sinistera, £25 million signing, I think £25 million Leeds paid for him. And Bournemouth got him as well, and Bournemouth took him on after. So it's not as if he was going to be up against anyone. So it was always going to be a tough test for Conor Bradley and Harvey Elliott on that side as well. We'll get into a little bit of that later on. But no, I was happy enough with the lineup. It was just, I suppose my initial nerves was always, how are we going to react after the break? And that was always going to be the bit of curiosity to see how we coped with that. But delighted to say we coped pretty well, even though they got off to a flying start. The first 3-4 minutes, I think they had 4 corners. They were putting us under the cosh. Ali was forced into a save. But, you're going away from home in the Premier League against a side who are in form and confident. You're going to have to suffer a little bit, and ride your luck at times when it's required. But in general, I thought the lineup happy. The start got through it, but the way the game settled down and panned out as the half wore on, so this is going to be one of those games. This had the potential to be one of those banana skin type of games if we weren't careful.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, Chris, I told you just before we came on, I thought we were gonna slip up today, just simply because it was a really piss poor sporting weekend for me as a fan of both the Green Bay Packers and the Montreal Canadiens. Obviously, the Packers out of the NFL playoffs because referees don't know how to spot a ball, but that's another podcast on its own. But the big talking point, at least in the Bournemouth lineup, was beforehand there were some rumors that Solanke might miss, but instead the form man is available for them. You got to have those concerns, don't you? That, former Liverpool player, he's got 12 goals to go against 10 that he had scored before this season. Like, he's in absolutely flying form. And like Kev said, they came out of the traps fast.
They did, but Bournemouth away has become a bit of a horrible away day. They had a tricky start to the season, but, he's got things going there. I was pleased we did Diaz on the right because of the injury they had. They were playing Mepham, who hasn't played that much, and they were given Haley, who hasn't played a lot of football, and Aaron. So you kind of thought, well, you want pace either side to test them out. So the only concern I had with the lineup was I thought we'd have gone Gravenberch over Elliott for 2 reasons. One, bit more physicality from Gravenberch, and unfortunately for Elliott, I've got a point with Elliott saying he's just a really good first sub, because no matter where you put him when he comes out, he just seems to always impact the game as a first sub. But to be fair to Elliott, I thought Elliott had a really decent game. So. But I think me and Kev were having this discussion the other night, and I think I predicted 10 of the lineup. I had Gravenberch over Elliott. Kev had Elliott over Gravenberch. It was literally like flip of a coin. I thought it's one or the other. But what Liverpool have been good at this year is we always keep ourselves in games. We know how to, as Kev said, we know how to suffer, but we always make sure games don't get away from us. And if we go behind, it's only by 1. It's a while since Liverpool have gone 2-0 down in a league game, and that was always a problem last year of away games. Is we'd ride the storm, maybe get 1, and then we could see the soft second. Yeah, there's no real soft chances being given as much now. I mean, I think I've worked out since we last played Bournemouth in the league, in all competitions since then, which is about 10 months now, we've lost 6 games in that period. So as good as this season's been, this resurgence did start last season with quite a lot of players that are still at the club. And it just slowly evolved over eyes. But look, I was happy to line up. The weird thing I would say is Diaz started on the right, and I'd be saying, well, we should start Diaz on the right, get his pace so he can get on the outside, plays well. If I'm honest, I don't think it worked. Other games has worked. Today, I don't think it worked. And we'll talk about second half, but actually, the switch of Diaz and Jota around second half was probably the key tactical change that Klopp did. And I'll be honest, we've always said, oh, Diaz should do it on the right and Jota's crap on the right. We always think that. And today, shows what we know about football, because actually both of those things proved not to be true. But no, I thought first half, I was saying to Kev, it was real message. I said it was turgid. I said it's one of those games where when they haven't got lots of half chances, we had half chances, but kind of felt we both sort of were getting used to conditions. I felt we dominated the ball, but I just was at the half time going, just don't feel we've worked the keeper, but not really looked at the massive threat. I thought first half, McAllister, Van Dijk, Kanate, that triangle was perfect first half. Covered what it needs to cover, kept everything clear. Bradley wasn't really left too exposed, and he's allowed to bomb on to show, what he's really good at, which is he's got a cracking delivery on him. So, first half, I was probably a bit frustrated we didn't create anything, but I kind of went to the away game. Our away form last year was horrendous. This year, we're coming at 0-0, no real big scares. Okay, let's see if we kick on second half.
Yeah, and I mean, Ashley L., who I believe is now the official channel stenographer for us, providing us with the post-match quotes. She's got Klopp down as saying, bad start from us. We gave the home team momentum. We were not flexible enough. I told the boys at halftime, good news, we weren't great, but next half, let's be great. We were calm. And I mean, like Kev, you said, I mean, I have it down 4 corners within the first 6 minutes. But Bournemouth didn't actually have a shot on goal until the 39th minute. So it was kind of like a championship fight. We kept them at arm's length. They decided that their game plan was to come out of the traps early, see if they could put one on us, get a lead, and then protect it at home with the adverse weather conditions and everything like that. And we just, to use the boxing analogy, it's like we had a good jab going and we just kept them at distance, and they couldn't really land that big haymaker punch on us. But Chris mentioned him, and I'm going to jump right to the end here and say he was my man of the match. I thought Alexis McAllister was fantastic. I think that might be his best game he's played for us. What do you think?
He was very good. He got our first shot on target in the 19th minute. But just before that, there was a period of play where we were in their half, and on the counter press on the right-hand side, you had Diaz, Elliott, and Bradley, like a triangle counter press that just zoomed in like hawks on prey and won it back. It was little things like that I was worried about with Conor Bradley. Would he be able to learn? Would he know the triggers straight away? And it was brilliant watching some of the counter pressing in the first half.
Seamless. You thought he played there for years.
Yeah. The other thing as well, we were a very orthodox 4-3-3. Bradley didn't come inside. He didn't get involved in midfield. We were very up and down tactically. It was, like you said, the triangle around McAllister was very good. McAllister's distribution was really good as well. His covering was good. What I suppose the way I was looking at it was, whatever you do, don't make a mistake, because when Alisson had the ball, they were committing with 3-4 players on a press, trying to force us to play a certain way. And once we got through that initial press, they dropped back into a low block, and they became very difficult to break down. So all of the shots in the first half were long shots, shots from distance, nothing really threatening. Anything that did come threatening was from the amount of set pieces that we had, and there was a few. I thought when you looked at our players in the box against theirs, I thought we have a height advantage here. Virgil and Ibu were physically looking bigger, stronger, more powerful, and I thought, just get a delivery right, let them go at it. And in fairness, Ibu attacked one at the near post that just should have. He got a half header on it, and it went out for a corner, and should have gone out for a second corner, but the ref missed it. But the talking point really for the first half is that tackle on Diaz. And it wasn't really a tackle on Diaz, was it? But let Chris go at it. But that was really the main talking point of the first half. No doubt.
Yeah, the obligatory PGMOL chat. Chris, I mean, walk us through it. What are your thoughts?
Okay. So it's one of those ones where forward overruns the ball and he sort of stretches for it. And in the slow-mo, you see his studs are right on the side of Diaz's leg. Looks bloody painful. But this one I'll agree with Jerry kind of at full speed, you just kind of went into the tackle and everything was fair. This is where the frustration is, because I've got to be careful how I phrase this, is that type of tackle we've seen the PGMLO send people off for, a la Curtis Jones. So for consistency, that should be a red card. Now, if you ask me, I don't think Jones was a red card. I think it was one of those, it's a yellow/orange where he's overrun it. He has caught him, should get booked, that's fine. I felt the Clivert one, he has caught him, he should get booked for it, and that's it. The frustration people have is why everyone says it's a red card. I don't understand why is. We've seen so many of those types of tackles given as red cards that when they're not, you're like, well, you've set the bar, which is you've decided that type of tackle is a red, and then you don't give it. So it's one of them. I must admit, when I first saw the tackle like full speed, I just went, I was caught him, but I didn't think much of it. I just thought it's one of those ones, it's a hard 50-50. It's only you slow down, and also slow down looks worse. So I don't think it's a red card, but I did in the context that I did think Jones was a red card. But in the PGMOL context of what they give red cards for consistency, should have gone off. So that's where it's frustrating. What was good with Liverpool is Liverpool of last year, we'd have come out here, lost 2-0 to Bournemouth, going, yeah, but they should have had a man sent off, and that really cost us. And this is like, it's no excuses. That's fine. It should have been, we think it should have been sent, wasn't given. Let's carry on. We'll go on and we'll take care of it in the second half. So that's why it's a bit of it's not such a black and white, it's a red. Some people will think it's a red. I think it's a red in the current context of what the PGML do. That's what I would say.
It's the consistency thing for me before I come back to you on it, Kev. And you mentioned it there about, watching the replays and the difference in the referee was rightly. The ref wasn't even called over to the monitor. So that's ridiculous. The fact that it's something that's worthy of a second look for the referee because it's a major turning point in the game. It is potentially a clear and obvious error that the referee could have reasonably missed in the real-time flow of the game. The way the game is flowing, it's possible that the ref didn't see where the boot made contact with Diaz. Give him a second opportunity for it. There was one in, must have been a game yesterday then, where there was a potential red card check where they sent the ref over and they didn't do what they did in the Curtis Jones incident, which was have the freeze frame of the worst possible instant of the whole interaction on the screen as the referee runs over towards the monitor. It doesn't seem like they're doing that anymore. And if you're going to change the protocol or the procedures for how the VAR is looking at these potential red card challenges or how the referees are told to give red cards for, you have to put out some sort of communique so that the teams and most importantly the fans know that, like, if the PGMOL said, hey, listen, we've looked at the first half of the season and we've decided that we've been giving out red cards for things that are 50-50 challenges, those are footballing plays that nobody likes to see as red cards, and we're not going to do that going forward. If we'd all seen something from Howard Webb that said that, you would understand today's decision. But for me, you look at that replay, his foot is planted in the ground. He does not get the ball. Like, Luis Diaz's foot is planted in the ground, which makes it dangerous. He does not get the ball, and his cleats are on his ankle, on his calf region. To me, that should have been a red card. I think that's another absolute fumble from the PGMOL. Kev, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it falls into one of those, if it's given, it's not overturned. If the ref saw that in real time, then fair play to him. He's not sponsored by Specsavers because that was quick. Clivert was off balance for sure. And he was challenged and reaching, so he was off balance. Reached in for the ball, didn't get it. It was high. It looked really bad on slow-mo. But I think for consistency's sake, it should have gone. But in reality, I'm kind of glad he didn't. It should have been a yellow card. I just hope.
Well, it should have been a free kick at the absolute least.
Yeah. Look, I just hope from now on. The one thing I'd say the ref did today is he let the game flow. and he let fouls go, niggly little things go for both sides, and that can go one of two ways. That can bubble up, and you see the frustration that happened in the 2:00 game today, where it ended up in red cards for people and second yellows. Or the other side of it is the players can take it within themselves. Okay, he's letting a bit go. We can get away with a little bit. Just don't go over the top with it. So, the more you see this in slow mo, the worse it is. The more you see this in slow mo, the worse it is, and it really is really bad. But Matt, what you were saying there about them not showing the freeze frame at the first instance when they go to the monitor is pretty much exactly what we all said should happen. After the Curtis Jones thing. So if that is what's happening now, then fine, I'm all for that.
But let us know. They have
let us know for sure. Let us know for sure. Yeah.
But I think the reason they haven't let us know is because I think the VAR messed up for Jones because I don't think they were supposed to do that. Yeah. I think it is. You're supposed to show full speed first, then the freeze frames, then the slow mo. Yeah. I actually think for Spurs, nothing's changed. As a lot of things happened in that Spurs game, they didn't follow their own process, which is where the issue is. And so what you're saying, let the refs see the monitor. My issue with letting the refs see the monitor is, listen, it would have helped us, so it won't bother me, is I've probably seen on 3 occasions the ref go to a monitor and stick to a decision. Culture now is the refs go, even TV, I go, oh, it's going to the monitor. We know it's going to get given. We know it's going to get overturned. Even if it's wrong, we know they're going to do it. That's the culture they've created. What I think they have to do is with the VAR is the point of the video assistant referee is they've got the most angles and the most views better than what the referee has. So actually, as much as football hate this, it's going to go like other sports, which is just, and you see it in American football, you see it in cricket, you see it in rugby. It's a person in the air just goes, yeah, listen, you've missed that. We've seen the replay. It's over the ball. It's a leg break tackle. Not saying this what it is, but as an example, it's a leg break tackle. It's a red card. And then he just does the VAR side, goes, you come here, red card. The on-field official goes, I've got to go with what I've been told. They've got better angles than me. That's it. None of this, the whole go to the monitor thing is theatrics for the telly. Because utter bullshit, because they don't do anything with it. But
with you mentioned the NFL used to do that. They used to call the on-field head referee over, and he would go under a little cloche.
A little hood,
He'd put a cloak over his head, and he'd look at his little monitor. Then he'd come out, and it was all very dramatic. And after about a season or two, they were like, "This is a waste of fucking time. Let's just have other refs, video assistant refs, make the call because they're also referees."
The best thing you could do is what they do in NFL, and they did it in the Women's World Cup, is mic the ref up where they press a button, it connects a tower, and it just goes VAR check for red card on Clivers, check complete, no red card. Whether you agree with it or not. It's so clear. It's so done. And they did in the Women's game, and they went VAR. I think it was one of the England women got sent off. She got the VAR check. They pointed to the player, give her a number, and said, "Yellow card rescinded, red card violent conduct," and just did it to her. And she was like, everyone in the crowd went, "Well, we know what's going on."
That was your one, James.
James, whether you agree to it or not, I mean, it was a stone cold. It was a stone cold.
It was stonewall red card. Yeah,
but there was no. Conjecture or what they've given. Whether you agree with the decision or not, it's a different matter because you still have that. You still have that lovely football debate where you go, "I don't think it's a red. I don't think it's a penalty," but you know they've given, and you know they've checked that. Yeah. And everyone in the stadium, who are also important, are involved in the game because then they go, "What's the ref checking? Checking for red card on him. Okay, red card given. Great. That's all you want."
The only thing I would say on all of this is, if you want the process to work faster, then that's what you have to do. I'm convinced now. The more football that I'm watching this season, and with the weather the way it is, where it's really cold and horrible and shitty, I'm convinced that the longer players are standing around waiting for these decisions to be made, they're picking up injuries because you're stopping for 2 or 3 minutes, waiting for a decision to be made, and then you're going at full tilt again, and then 10 minutes later, you're stopping again because they're looking at something else. Another 2 or 3 minutes. And you go in again. It's not normal. You see it with rugby with a player who's been sin binned. He's off 10 minutes.
And they review it, don't they?
But for the 10 minutes, they're sat on an exercise bike. Just keeping their muscles moving. It's not really good. And I'm convinced that players are picking up injuries. I'll have Curtis Jones later on today. He went down after the goal went in, and it was a couple of minutes standing around waiting for the game to kick off. And I'm convinced the longer these players are standing around doing nothing on the pitch, they're picking up niggles left, right, and centre.
Yeah.
That's a possibility. I mean, it kind of goes against having watched a lot of NFL the last couple of weeks, because I watched Brock Purdy stand on the sidelines for the 49ers for the first half an hour of that football game when Green Bay drove down the field, and he didn't pick up any sort of muscle injury. But I don't think there's a huge problem with playing this extra added time or having a few stoppages. Just do some knee ups and keep yourself warm, and I'll be fine. I say that because we have a deeper squad than pretty much every single team in the league. So let everybody else pick up injuries. I think we'll survive. Let's get in through to halftime. Just before halftime, 39th minute, Bournemouth have their first shot on goal. Christie from long range. It's an easy save for Allison. Shortly thereafter, Virgil has two big blocks in our box. Bournemouth look to be getting shots off. Virgil's in the first spot again. Virgil back to his best. 43.5 minutes, Connor Bradley, he's sweeping up at the back, coming across from the right-hand side. We seem to have lost. We'll soldier on without him. He picks the ball up when Bournemouth the press and clears it out. 44th minute, they flash across right to our 6-yard box, has to absolutely nobody. McAllister, just on the stroke of halftime, does great defense in the middle of the park. He sets Jota off, ends up winning a corner from it. That's the one Kev was talking about, that Elliott caught Ibu Konate's head from the corner and he headed it well wide. Get into halftime, Chris, and you got to be okay with that. You got to be okay. It's 0-0. We're away. Shitty weather. You know, put all your pieces over here and go. They gave us their best shot, and our nose ain't bloody. You know, we're doing okay.
Yeah,
you panicking at halftime, or are you confident?
I also panicking. A little frustrated because I was more like, I think I was saying to we were quite dominant. I thought the ball, we haven't really created a lot. I think Bournemouth's best chance came from, I think Alice tried to throw the ball out too quick and threw it straight to a Bournemouth player, which is not the best. So, but that's kind of how we've been going away from home, is you kind of sort of work through the first half and the second half seems to be a bit better. I think we're still trying to break up the away day hoodoo in terms of performance, not in terms of results. Actually, in terms of results, we're doing really well away from home. So this is the time now we're going to sort of have redemption from last year, because the run of away fixtures we've got now, I think up until April, most of the away fixtures we've got now are games that we dropped points in last year and didn't win any of them. So this is a big opportunity for us. I mean, we're now 15 points off at the same point as last year. You know,
yeah, just a bit of a difference.
That shows how quickly a season is. It's like most things. You're never as far away as you think you are from being good, and you're probably never as close as you think you are. So listen, going into the season, I openly admit I thought we'd be comfortably top 4, and that'll be it. I was open and honest. I think we'll get top 4. I have no issues with that, because I kind of think it takes a while for the midfield to bed in. But guess what? Midfield's bedded in so much better. And to be fair, lads that we wrote off because of injuries and form last year, Joel Matip's, Joe Gomez's, I've really set some mark. Curtis Jones has stayed fit, because Curtis Jones's problem was always fitness. It wasn't ability. You know, so that's going really well. And Harvey Elliott's just become what we need him to be, which is he's a perfect number 12, and we can still throw him in. And listen, we've actually now got a crop of kids coming through who were really, really good. I mean, Bradley was excellent first half. You know, good test for him, because their winger is decent, and I thought actually he held up to him pretty well. And he's got a lovely cross to him. So I was all right. I did wonder what change we'd do, and give Pop his credit. You know, as much as people think he's just a man who hugs people, the big change he did was he put Jota wide right, and he played Diaz as a number 9 second half, and kept Darwin left.
Yeah,
and that just gave a different spark, because Jota doesn't have the pace of a Diaz, but he's got the trickery. I think that's what did for Hill, because I don't think he could handle Jota's trickery. And the two lads in the middle just don't like pace. They're just not built. They're not built as centre backs to go against pace, and that suited Diaz to have that bit of a free roll, and Darwin could just drift in when he needed to. So you've got to give Klopp credit again. Is little tactical changes by him at half time has done really well.
Yeah, and I mean, Kev, you've joined us back again seamlessly, so well done with the technology there. But this is, what, 2-3 games in a row since we've been sans Mo Salah that at halftime, without changing the personnel, we've we've seen Jurgen Klopp rejig the formation on the pitch, and it pays dividends. Like the complaint, basically the only complaint that Liverpool fans had about Jurgen Klopp in the first 7-8 years of his tenure was that he didn't seem to utilize his subs well enough. We didn't have a plan B. If the game plan wasn't working the way that we had scripted it out to work, we seemed to struggle with that. And that couldn't be further from the 23-24 Jurgen Klopp playbook, because once again, whether it's the substitutes, and we will get on to the impact that the substitutes make in terms of goal contributions, but just that switch that Chris is talking about of moving the 3 forward players around 4 minutes into the second half, dividends.
Yeah, there was other changes that he made as well, because he got Joe Gomez playing inside and pushed Curtis Jones wider, and that was another thing that that I saw was really good. I mean, that first goal all started with Ibu Kanata, a big hoof up front. And it was literally 2-3 passes, and it was all one touch. It was literally bang, 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 bang into Jota and finish. And it was exactly what was needed just to quicken the play up through the thirds, and it's all well and good building the play up and knocking it around in the final third, looking for gaps. But when you can, move it really quickly. And there's not many sides in Europe that can live with us when we move the ball at pace like that. And it was the accuracy of the one-touch passes plus finish.
Yeah,
it was a really good goal.
You mentioned that long pump up, and twice that happened because Darwin did the same thing that Jones did for on the first goal. It was Jones, and Darwin did it later for one of Jota's, where there's a long ball that gets hoiked up into the air, and we win that high ball underneath it. And somebody mentioned in the comments there that we were losing a lot of the aerial battles in the first half, but we didn't lose that one. Curtis Jones wins that one. He lays it off to Diogo Jota, and I mean, first touch from Diogo Jota right into his path. Now, Chris, is this an instinctive finish that Darwin doesn't need to think about, and that's the type of finish that Darwin Nunez needs? Because if he has too much time, he'll hit the crossbar or put it into the stands. Or is that a striker's finish?
I think that's a striker's clinical finish, because what Darwin would be doing before that, we've seen, is he'd be trying to break the ball, smash it as hard as he can. That's becoming his finish, that little curved pass. And that's always been my frustration with Darwin, is sometimes you go with it, you just need to pass it, because all the best strikers, Torres, Fowler, Owen, Salah at his peak, they all, most of them, they don't hit it. It's just a firm pass in the corner. That's enough. It's a great finish. And it was great because Jamie Redknapp, one of the worst Premier League Liverpool captains ever, because he's shite. And that could be it's shown its own because it does my head in. Well, his first bar at half time was Darwin's been wasteful again in the first half. I was like, he literally had one shot, and it wasn't like it was a sitter. It was like quite a speculative effort. It's like,
with that hurricane ninja kick that he tried.
Like going, I've hardly got that a tap in. If he volleys that first time in, you're all going, Jesus, what a goal that is. Do you know what I mean? It's like, sometimes you feel pundits, stop coming in with an agenda and just say, a bit like Catherine, say what you see. Yeah. To me, that was a lovely finish. And it's good for Darwin, because I quite like the fact for Darwin, it's an opening goal, or it's an equaliser. That's what you want him to get. You want to get those type of goals, not the fourth and a 4-0 win. Because you want his first goal to be, well, what did he score? He scored the opener. That's the key. That's the key one. That's the one that broke the game open. All have to change their plans because then they're going, right, we are actually going to have to open up a bit more now, and we'll see where that goes. Breaking news, just so you know. Apparently, someone can compare this for me. Klopp has said the plan is for Mo Salah to return to Liverpool to do his rehab, and he'll do it in Liverpool. So if he is fit before the final, then they will send him back to the AFCON. But the talk is Mo Salah's on his way back to Liverpool and he's doing his rehab on Merseyside. So
if they're saying he's fit before the final, you're looking, that's probably 3 weeks. So,
and this is assuming, and this is my theory, is they get past the last 16, because the Egyptian FA have already said he'll miss the Cape Verde game, and if they make it to the last 16, he'll miss that game. So they've already said he's out of those 2 games. I am very doubtful they'll get past the last 16 without a Mo Salah. So actually, this could just be Mo Salah getting fit for us. So,
well, hopefully on the way back from the Ivory Coast, they can stop over in the Balkans, pick up some horse placenta, and have him ready to go for the Arsenal and Chelsea games, because I want that Mo Salah back in our team. I mean, Kev, the second half, it was brilliant. It was maybe the best 45 we played all season.
It was, and well, it's up there. But the thing is, they weren't bad. And I'll go back to what I said at the very start. This was a really, really good win, and they didn't play badly. So that goes to show the level of performance and the ruthlessness that we showed in the second half. None of the chances that we made were, you'd say, because of shoddy defending or anything like that. It was good attacking play, good forward play, good passing, and those goals you'd score against most good sides. With the way that we were playing. Conor Bradley had a header that he should have done better with on 53, and then had a banger of a shot on 54.
He said that in his post-match interview. He said you look crestfallen. He goes, I was raging over the header I missed.
Yeah,
he was deadpan. He goes, I can't believe I missed that opportunity. So I could have got a goal.
Boys, we've jumped over it. Kev, what do you think? Kieran B, I saved this comment from earlier. He says, wonder what VAR said about the Jota penalty claim. Baffling. Jota first got pushed in the back for a free. Then the center back never touched the ball. Only Jota's leg. How is that not a penalty? Confusing. What did you think? It looked like it was in the area to me.
I said to Chris right at the time, it's nailed on. It's a stonewall pen. It's a nailed on foul. Every which way you look at that. If that's out in the wing, that's a foul. Yeah. And we've seen fouls in that game given for those kind of shoulder-to-shoulder charges or even shoulder-to-back charges.
I thought the push was outside the box, and I thought they'll do the first foul, which is why they'll do this, not a penalty thing. So that's why I assumed they didn't give it, because the initial push was outside the box.
I just couldn't believe. Yeah, I couldn't believe he allowed it to go. But like I said, he was letting a lot of stuff go, and I just thought if that's inside the box, and I thought it looked inside the box, that has to be given. Kieran, I thought that was as a nailed-on pen. The only mitigation is if it happened outside the box, they can't go back and do anything about it. They can't go back and get a free kick. They're just not allowed to they're not allowed to intervene. It's just the way of the rules. But I honestly thought it was a straight up foul.
It looked a foul. It's one of we've watched it before where it's one of those instant reactions that just looks a foul. Everything about it looks a foul. So I was quite surprised it wasn't given. But
what game was it a couple of years ago where we gave away the penalty where they got out like the offside lines to figure out whether or not, I think it was Fabinho fouled a Burnley player, maybe?
Sheffield United.
And it was
Sheffield United. This is the COVID year.
Yeah, it was just over the line. Like, that's a penalty.
It was the COVID year where Sky in their wisdom, where everyone's locked in the house, people are on furlough, don't have much money, said, Liverpool, Sheffield United, you can have that, you can pay for it. And everyone went, fuck off. I'm not paying £10 to watch Sheffield United versus Liverpool. We all found streams. They showed it, and then even they drew the lines, they actually, post-game, drew the lines again and realised the foul was outside the box anyway. Funny that, isn't it? The joys of Muppets who can't use computers.
Yeah. Look, I just thought it was a pen, but I mean, that was on 52 minutes. But at this stage, we were purring. We were
yes,
really
we
purring.
were.
It was a case where when we were attacking, we were leaving Virgil and Ibu at the back with Dom, and everyone else was just getting forward. Joe was tucking in as like an inverted left back, like Trent does on the right, creating the extra body in midfield. Curtis was staying wide, giving them that threat, and it was a little tactical changes that he made in the second half that proved that allowed us to be more dominant in that period of time, and we were doing really, really well. Got to be honest.
Yeah, and I mean, Chris, Kev says it there, like in the first half, we were fairly orthodox back four, flying fullback sort of thing. But in the second half, there was a significant amount of inverted fullback Joe Gomez, and fuck me, Joe Gomez again and again and again. He is going to be. He hasn't left the club yet, so he cannot be considered for one of the tribute shows that are one of our members-only shows of players that need more credit than they deserve.
Can't wait to Joe Gomez one.
Honestly, he's in that group because for the title-winning season and this season alone, Joe Gomez deserves at minimum cult hero status.
Yeah, I think he's beyond cult heroes. I think he's just a very, very good footballer. I think the thing Joe Gomez has suffered with since the title-winning season is he's picked up these sort of quite serious injuries, not niggles, and he can't get a run of games. I think you see with Joe Gomez, when he gets a run of games, you see how crucial, how good he is, and how flexible he is. Because he's played all across the back four. And listen, I can still see Joe Gomez doing a 20-minute stint in DM at some point, just because it's bound to happen. Why not?
Center forward, and he's scoring a fucking goal. He's scoring a goal.
I'm telling you, he's scored the goal in a cup final. That's Joe Gomez's only goal for Liverpool. It's got to be a cup final goal or the goal that wins the league. That is generally what Joe Gomez is going to do. But honestly, Gomez was he's excellent. It's getting to the point where everyone's going, it'd be great when Trent and Robbo are back. And I'm going, in my head, yeah, it's good because one of them could start with Gomez, and then the other one, and then Gomez could go as a right back, and then Robbo could come on a left back. I'm generally sort of going like, I wouldn't take him out at the moment. I always think with some player, ride the crest, and this crest of wave he's on is brilliant. So just keep playing him, which is, I think, we're in a nice position where if Trent and Robbo are back for the Fulham game, and I don't think we'd have ever said this at the start of the season, I can see one of them. I can see one of both come off the bench against Fulham. I can generally see us saying we're going to start Trent and Robbo in the FA Cup fourth round to give them minutes to rest Joe Gomez. Which, if you'd have said that at the start of the season, you'd have generally thought had gone bad.
Yes, I think that most weeks.
I know, and Matt, you're the most positive one of the three of us, but fair play. But, I generally think FA Cup fourth round. I hope Trent and Robbo get a run out and we can just rest Joe. I'd start him against Chelsea. All
right, let's get into the absolute fun bits now. 59th minute, we get the first yellow card. So this goes to what you were saying, Kev, in terms of letting the game flow. Andy Madley, he kept his cards in his pocket for the first half, and it was great. It let the game flow, and we start to see a few changes. I'm going to throw, hold on, where did that comment go? Dan Austin, this is a great shout. He says, Gomez needs his own song, defo. Longest serving member of the team.
Yes, good. Awesome. Ain't nobody like Joe Gomez. Makes me happy. Makes me feel this way. You not heard this one? Yeah, that's
well. You have to sing. You have to sing it now.
I ain't singing it, mate. Let's have a bit of crowd.
I've been in the pub with him singing. No, you don't.
Yeah. You had to go with that, didn't you? That was
Kev. The 70th minute, Diogo Jota gets on the ball at about the halfway line and just whips it up into the air. Darwin Nunez wins his 1v1 high ball battle, knocks the ball down. It kind of falls over it. It ends up Gakpo runs onto it, plays a perfect through ball into Diogo Jota. Diogo Jota, he just scores goals. He's so. I think legitimately, he would start for maybe every single other team in the league except for maybe City, but he might even start for City. That's how good Diogo Jota is.
No, I'll be honest, right? That goal for me is all about Darwin, and his winning that ball and his determination to win that ball. Everything else that happened after that, you'd expect it to happen. Jota's the slide pass through to him, the near post shot was an absolute rasper of a shot. That shot gave the keeper absolutely no chance. Keepers, people will say keepers shouldn't be beaten at their near post. Well, when the ball is traveling that fast, it takes the keeper out of the equation. It was an absolutely brilliant finish, and it was a clinical finish. It was. I
think savage was the word you used to describe it to me.
Yeah, savage was the word I used. I just said it was savage, and it was like he hit that ball like he absolutely hated it. He hit it with pure hate in his mind.
If you watch it back of a telly at full speed, you see his leg go back to hit it, and you don't actually see the ball again until it hits the back of it. He hits it that hard, exactly. You can't actually see. It's just a blur. Paul's right. Foul. It was just like watching a Fowler hit. That's how Fowler hit a ball. It was glorious.
Oh, it was pure bad intentions. He hit that one with, like, it was no matter what happened, and that was the icing on the cake. I mean, the rest to come was fantastic and everything like that, but I always felt that the conditions lend itself to a mistake, that they could possibly get one back. But at 2, I thought, nah, we're home and hose at 2-0. And whenever you're playing away from home against a side who are in form and you go 2-0 up, 70 minutes gone, you're like, yeah, that's it. You know, from then all I'm thinking about is get the clean sheet. You know, get the clean sheet, get through the rest of the game as pain-free as possible and manage the situation. But in fairness to Bournemouth, they kept coming, you know, so the more that they piled on, the more it opened up the other way. And we were in the situation then, as long as we won the ball in the right area and managed to work the counters properly, we could have gone 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever. But it was only because they were coming onto us more and trying to get something back that allowed us to be a bit more clinical. But Brian, exactly that. It stayed hit.
That's also now 31 goal contributions from the bench in all comps with Gakpo's assist.
And it's got to be, is that close to double what second place is, I think?
Probably.
I think I saw that graphic, and it's like, it was a bar chart, and our bar is significantly longer than everybody else's. And this goes back to what I was saying at the halftime changes of players' formations and players' positionings on the pitch, is that we are absolutely being blessed by Jurgen Klopp this year in terms of changing around the positions of the players on the pitch and changing the personnel on the pitch to affect games and to win games and to put games to bed. I mean, 31 goal contributions from substitutions. You put that together with what? We've scored more goals after the 75th minute than we've let in all season.
Yeah.
Actually even more, because we got another one today.
And also, we very rarely concede second half. Our second half goals conceded is very low. So, you know, again, that's sort of things you'll look at. I also think with the Klopp thing, why subs are probably better this year has he also just got a bit more of a balanced squad with actual options, whereas it used to be the front 3 and Divock. And listen, Divock did great things, but it was only Divock. Whereas now you're going, we've got the front 3, and we've still got Gakpo to bring on, we've still got Salah to bring on, we've still got Gravenberch to bring on. And you're looking going, there's no Trent, there's no Robbo, there's no Thiago, no Pajetic,
no Szoboszlai.
No Szoboszlai. You're sort of going, it's quite a list. You know, no Matip. You know, so you're looking going, that's like 7 or 8 first teamers not around.
Yeah,
you know, so,
and that goes to this comment here from Centurion LFC, who is some sort of San Francisco 49ers garbage fan. But he says, I reckon Liverpool are the first club in the Premier League that are geared with a squad to optimize the 5 subs. And again, who was leading? Who was at the vanguard for calling for 5 subs? It was Jurgen Klopp. And look who's the person to be using their substitutions the best. And he just time and time again, absolutely nailing his substitutions. I mean, we get past that magical 75th minute mark when our goal scoring really ticks into high gear, Chris. And Bournemouth have a few chances. After we make it 2-0, they've got a couple of chances. 73rd minute, McAllister's good on defense. Virgil van Dijk, he cuts in front of Solanke to give away a corner in the 77th minute. Excellent defending from Van Dijk again. And then 79th minute, Diogo Jota just scores goals. He just scored. Darwin Nunez puts in a speculative cross. It goes a bit too far. It comes to Connor Bradley.
Bradley puts a cross in, and this one, you know, he looks in, he proper spoons it. He spoons it in the air, doesn't mean to, takes a touch, and then cracks it in again. Because the post match, he jokes with Bradley saying, like, yeah, I told him his cross wasn't very good. That's why I had to do that bit of skill. Because I bet you Bradley is going like, do I get the assist for that? Because technically you've set yourself up. I'm sure Bradley's going, please let me at least get the assist for that. But 3-0, I was just then like, oh, this is great. Feet up. This is lovely, this. You know, we had none of this last year. Where you're like going 15 minutes to go, 10, 15 minutes to go, feet up, great. Game's won. Ooh, when we play, what we gonna do for Fulham? It's lovely. Yeah. It's actually, I'm thinking we've had a few of these games now where I've texted Kev going with 10 minutes going, "Oh, you? It's a bit boring this last 10, isn't it? Lovely, isn't it?" So it's just like, game over this. So just manage minutes. And then probably the only negative in the whole game is I think it's not long after that Jones goes down. I don't know if it's his ankle or it's his hamstring, but he goes straight down the tunnel. So the hope is, as Kev was saying to me earlier, it's probably the Mo Salah thing where it's like I felt a tightness and he's just sat down and gone, not risking it, and we'll just don't risk it. That's the hope. But the positive of Jones going off, if there is a positive of a player going off injuries, Bobby Clark came on and excellent. Did all the things you want him to do. Does it in a different way to Curtis Jones. He's more of a runner than Jones. Jones is more of a pass and move, and a bit of a recycler of the ball. But he was excellent. He was excellent when he came on, Bobby Clark. And Owen Beck got his first appearance at Liverpool as well, which was also nice to see.
And I'd imagine there's a few Dundee United fans that weren't too upset about seeing Owen Beck make his debut for Liverpool, because that means that if he's not going to stay at Liverpool, the only place he can go for the second half of the season is back to Dundee. Is back to Dundee United. But I mean, there's something that I just put down here, Kev, and I noticed, Kev. I have to say, I was very impressed. The what was it, Burnley on Boxing Day, St. Stephen's Day. You did the post-match show with Gav. I was very happy that you took notes. I couldn't do it because I was on holidays, but I was very proud that you took notes for it. But I have noted down here that we had Virgil van Dijk taking some of our goal kicks. That was a bit strange, wasn't it?
It's just another string to the bow. Another tactical tweak. You see a lot of keepers. Arsenal do it a lot. Centre back.
Well, their keepers are shit though. We've got an amazing keeper.
But Van Dijk plays it to Alisson, draws the striker in. Alisson can go into midfield. It's all set up. You see the movement off the ball, and it doesn't matter who's playing in midfield. The movement, the triggers everyone's in tune with it. So if it happens in the 5th minute, happens in the 85th minute after the subs, everyone knows where the ball needs to be and what the options need to be for Alisson to be able to play it out. And worst case scenario, it goes back to Virgil. It's just another way of being able to get the ball out against a side who are pressing really high. Yeah. So yeah, I'm all for that. There's a few things that I'd like us to improve on, especially one thing I really love a set piece goals from corners. Yeah. I think that we should be scoring a lot more goals from corners.
Given the quality feel like our top set piece takers are all out. When you think about if you went through the squad, the full fit squad, who would take your set pieces? We're down to 6th, 7th?
Yeah.
Because we had Harvey Elliott taking corners.
Mate, it's literally you're at the corner, you put it on the penalty spot, and you attack it.
And to be fair,
you do that often enough.
Also, Harvey's delivery is normally pretty good because he's took wide free kicks. I think we've got to get better at creating a block so someone like a Virgil or a Konate can get a run at him, which is what we did for Sheffield United, where we managed to do a block. I mean, also Virgil just let the guy bounce off him, which was hilarious. Yeah. Which, by the way, in the last couple of minutes, I know we're jumping ahead. That was still the funniest thing I've seen. Virgil gets given a bit of a hospital ball, and he just starts running left back. Forwards, just runs at it. He just see him bounce off him like a child. And he went, I'll play that line now. Thinking, I've not seen Virgil that for ages. This is lovely watching where people just shit scared to go near him again. It's great.
I have to counter Centurion LFC here. He says, enough. Why the tangerine in goal? Bring back the black in goal. As much as the blacked out murder Alisson goalkeeper kit, I thought his kit tonight was quite lovely. But before we get on to all that,
I like his pink one.
Yeah, the pink one is fantastic. 89th minute, before we get our 4th goal, David Brooks gets in 1v1. It's the obligatory, fuck me, we have the best goalkeeper in the entire world.
Oh, shit,
Alisson comes out so fast. He makes himself so big. Brooks ends up missing. Alisson doesn't even put a hand on it. And then Joe Gomez puts in a sumptuous cross, Chris. And
it's glorious.
How do you describe Darwin's finish, though? Like the cross, you can wax lyrical about. Tell me about the finish.
Full stretch, 2-footed, outside of the right boot finish. I mean, it's a pure. Now this is an instinctive finish, but it's not an easy one because the most logical one to go is with his left foot, a hit across it, but he likes to quite likes the outside of the boot finish, and it's a lovely goal. And I was just like, oh, brilliant. Can't Missy Bo teach the lads to... I'll be honest, we don't want to talk about the women's football today because it was horrendous.
Red Steve is winding you up.
Absolutely horrific today it was. And I'll be honest, we had a few corners and they were just as bad. Yeah, it was very bad there at the office of the women, unfortunately. But we live and learn. But yeah, look, finish-wise, it was glorious. I've sent it to you in our private WhatsApp group. There is a brilliant photo of Darwin, which is clearly scored after he scored the 4th goal, and he's doing like a pretend sad face towards the Bournemouth fans who still call him the shit Andy Carroll. But but it's the Darwin again. It's proper shit housery. It's not quite though, and it's still I still love it. The Darwin winner against Newcastle. It's still my hope when he's shouting Vamos, obviously to the Liverpool fans, and then he looks down and he sees obviously Newcastle fans around, and he just winks and blows a kiss to him and walks away. I thought, I love that little level of shit housery that he's got. As in, like, I know you're all talking about me. I don't care. I'm gonna score anyway. So yeah, it was gorgeous. But listen, the crossbar, it's the cross that makes the goal. And if Trent does that, we are waxing lyrical. So we've got to give Joe his flowers. It's a brilliant ball. And Joe was excellent. Again, the only other sort of slight concern is why there's 8 minutes of added time. Fuck knows, because there's barely anything happened. I think there's a late one on Canate's ankle, which I think he played through. Hopefully it's just a knock. And there's a couple of rumours that Joe might have took a bit of a knock. So but hopefully it's just like little standard knocks and giggles, and they're all fine for Fulham. Because I'll be honest, that's going to be a beast of a game on Wednesday, Fulham away. Because look, Fulham at home are no mugs, and they'll be firing for this, and they'll have a week. And they've had a week off as well, so look forward to this.
Yeah, I mean, Kev, it ends up being you get into the half, and we're probably the better team at a 0-0 halftime, and then we put together an absolutely comprehensive final 45 minutes. We're 5 points clear at the top of the league. City obviously have a game in hand. Arsenal have fallen back a little bit. Villa have fallen back a little bit. There's going to be a bit of a scrap for top 4 that it doesn't look like is going to be any of Liverpool's concern. Like at the current rate, if you go back to where we were in August, all of the not delusionally optimistic Liverpool fans, so not myself, we're thinking, get back in that top 4. We're well better than that right now, aren't we, Kev? Like we are, whether you're as delusionally optimistic as me or not, we are right in the middle of a fucking title race, and we look primed. We look good, right?
Yeah,
I'm not crazy.
No, I think the strength of this squad is its versatility. Its ability to adapt within games to get results. Its ability to affect change from the bench is a mentality thing. It's I'm going to come on and I'm going to do something. And it doesn't matter who that person is, whether it's Gakpo putting it in a ball for Jota, or whether it's one of the young lads coming on, Owen Beck coming on and running the ball up the line. They're going to do something in a game for the last 20 minutes to make you notice them. I'm looking at the table now. Played 21, around 48 points of plus 29 goal difference, which is really good. We've only conceded 18 goals this season so far. 1 loss so far in the league.
Best defense in the league?
Yeah. And when you look at how many, 2 of the changes when you guys were listing off the players who are missing, you're forgetting Endo and Salah.
Yeah.
They're not there either. So it's like, this is the period that we have to get through. This is no jokes now. Every side misses a Mo Salah. So it's get through this with maximum points. Mo comes back into the fold with Endo, and you look to where you are in March. All you can do is get from here to March and try to get maximum points. And we're looking like that side now that nobody wants to play. All of the talk coming from the media is, geez, Arsenal look good at the weekend. They got 5 and this and that. And Man City are like a freight train. Man City are not the Man City of old. That squad is thin. Don't get it twisted. We beat Newcastle to within an inch of their life a couple of weeks ago. Man City scraped an injury time winner to nick 3 points. All right, they're a good side. They're top tier side. Don't get me wrong, but that squad is thin, and they're going to be going gung ho on the league and the Champions League when that starts back. I'm liking where we are. I think you can't not be happy with the season how it's panning out. I think we're doing exceptionally well. I think we're playing above where everyone thought we would be, especially after a virtual complete midfield rebuild, and knowing how difficult it is to get players to come into this league and adapt and hit the ground running and evolve into a new setup, a new style, and the intensity that we're playing in, the demands that are on a club, playing for a club like Liverpool, of every game you're playing, you're under a microscope that you have to win every game. It's not easy.
The bad thing is we've played 11 away games now, and we're top of the form guide for away games. You know, Arsenal have got a game in hand on us for aways.
We are?
Yeah. Played 11, won 6,
wow.
drawn 4, lost 1. 22 points. Same as Man City, who have won 7, drawn 1, lost 3.
We're winning the league. We're winning the league. Our biggest issue coming into this season was our away form, especially against the bottom half of the table teams. If you're telling me we're tied top of the away form table, we're winning the league.
And we're second in the form going to Villa for home form. Villa have 28 points from home. We've got 26. We both played 10. Arsenal have 26, same as us, but they played one more game. And City have 21, but they've only played 9. But if they win their game in hand on us, they're still behind us. So I don't really worry about the home form. There's 2 annoying draws. You know, basically, there's one annoying draw. It's the United one. I actually think a draw against Arsenal's not that bad.
Yeah.
But it was only us. But that's where the annoyance is. But because I had to look at that, check twice, because I've got in my head that our away form shit. I've generally got in my head that our away form's pretty patchy. And when you look at it, it's better. Yeah, I think performance-wise, this is the best away performance we've done in the league.
Yeah,
I think the FA Cup one was special, but you know that's where we're starting now. We're starting now to see performance match results, which is a nice scenario to get. It's sort of like the build up slowly. So this season at the moment to me feels like when I used to watch United and Arsenal fight out for the league under the Fergie Wenger years.
Except with less throwing up in your own mouth, right?
Yeah, but you know what I mean? And like when you watch the outside look at it, it's like lots of nip and tuck, and they lose this week. There's a point here. It's, there wasn't like this like one team was like 20 points clear. You went, league's done. It feels more like that. So there are going to be more twists and turns in this, but it's nice to be in it. I'm quite enjoying it. It's all you want. It's all you want. You want to be in it, and then get to within 5 games to go with your chance to win it, and then look. That's nothing then to do with squad depth or anything. It's just literally have luck and the cards fall for you and just embrace it.
And just fortitude. You get down to those final 3-4 games. If everything's on the line, it comes down to mentality and fortitude to do it. And cannot wait, because I am of the understanding that you guys are going to be over there as well as I am for that final game of the year. And fuck me.
Well,
it could be a good year, boys. It could be a good year.
I had fun and games this morning. I had to rebook my flight. So I had an email. I woke up to an email this morning telling me the time of my flight has changed from leaving Liverpool at midday on the Monday to leaving Liverpool at 6:30 a.m. on the Monday morning. I'm like, no chance.
No.
Thankfully, the senior Lawson made a great suggestion to check out Manchester Airport. So I managed to get a flight back from Manchester to Cork on the Monday night. So I got an extra day really in Liverpool. So happy.
There you go. Because I believe most of us are sticking around until Tuesday. I don't fly back from Liverpool to Dublin until Tuesday. So that'll be...
Well, I'm booking the Monday off work, so I can stick around.
Well, that's good. We're all staying at your house, I presume, right? You live in Liverpool.
I need to find out where you guys are staying, and I can book into the same place.
Boys, all right. The boss man Gav is going to be fucking upset at us because we're already at 1:05 here, and I believe we've got a Sunday night show coming up with Gav, Shawnee, Keith, and Emmett. Presumably, all 4 of the guys coming on in a couple of hours here tonight. But before we go, Chris, who'd you like man of the match?
I suppose that's be Diogo. I mean, Diogo's got. I want to give it McAllister. I just felt that's his best performance with balance, and I always think with McAllister is we got the structure around him proper, which is keep legs around him, which is what City do to Rodri. So I'm going to go McAllister.
Kev?
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with it. I think Ibu Konate was very good. His distribution from the back was outstanding. So I can understand the TV gave it to Jota, and you'd have to agree 2 goals, and his performance in the second half was brilliant. But honourable mention, Ibu Konate for sure. But there is a few, and you could make cases for a lot of people.
Red
Steve is spot on.
No wrong answers. No wrong
answers to that question. He's dead right.
Yeah, I think overall, because the first half, I think our attack was a little disjointed, and I thought Alexis McAllister was fantastic first half. So I think over the course of the 90, I think the correct answer is probably Alexis McAllister, but I'm going to give it to Diogo Jota because it reminded me there was a couple of touches he had in this game. It was the very first comment when I was just a member of the chat, when I was never on this side of the camera, when I was just a regular old chat user. The very first comment that ever got read out online by Gav was, I said, when Diogo Jota dribbles the ball, it reminds me of Suarez and it makes me feel happy in my swimsuit area. So for that reason and that reason alone, I'm going to give it to Diogo Jota because that fucking guy, I thought Darwin Nunez was going to fire us the goals to get us to a league title, but I think I completely slept on our little number 20 Portuguese who's better than Figo, because Diogo Jota is...
It's a great song.
It is a great song, yeah.
It is also a fantastic song. But speaking of that, I mean, we need to teach the traveling cop a little bit of Spanish, because the Darwin Nunez song that the Uruguayan comms that do Premier League games is fantastic. Mire, mire, que locuro. Mire, mire, que emoción. Un golazo por el Uruguayo por los rojos que derrite club. Look at all the madness. Look at all the emotion. A goal for the Uruguayan, for the Reds, coached by Klopp. It's absolutely fucking brilliant. Darwin Nunez today, he saved my fantasy week because I had him captain and I completely fucked up. I brought in Erling Haaland in exchange for Mo Salah, and that was an absolute disaster. But I mean,
you leave him in there for the rest of the season. You leave him there now for the rest of the season.
I'm not taking him out. I'm the only person in my little mini league with my buddies that has any belief in Darwin Nunez, and he's free points as far as I'm considering, and he's going to fucking bang goals for us, and he's going to be lifting trophies at the end of the season. I'm telling you, trophies at the end of the season. But it was a very, very good day. Thank you very much, Kev, for joining me. Thank you very much, Chris, for joining me. Everybody in the chat, I reloaded the show on YouTube about halfway through. We had like 180 people watching, and we only had about 76 people that liked the show. So come on, people. I'm like, there's at least 100 members. Like, there's 100 of you that are paying to get our members only content in here. Hit the damn hit the thumbs up button. You guys know better. If you're not a member, become a member. It's €4 a month. It's €1 a week. It's absolutely hilarious. I believe Gav has 4 or 5 morning 30 shows lined up for this week, and those are worth the price of admission alone.
And you get great tractor chat.
Yes, I mean, Brian O'Sullivan.
No context either. We'll just leave it at that.
Brian O'Sullivan doesn't know what he's talking about. He's a John Deere tractor guy, and everybody knows that crops are green, tractors are red. Case IH all the way. Speaking of Brian O'Sullivan, everybody that's in the Talkin Kop members chat group is thinking of you, your wife, and your soon-to-be baby. It's her due date today, so fingers crossed for you, buddy, that you don't have to deal with this when the weather is absolutely horrible. But congratulations, eventually, to Mr. and Mrs. O'Sullivan on your first child, and watch out for those calves that are coming when you're paying attention to the misses and not to the cows. But yeah, he's a good lad. But yes, like the show, become a member if you haven't, because it's the best online Liverpool community that you will ever possibly find. Everybody in the chat is absolutely great. Please support our charity sponsors, the Lighthouse in Dublin and Fan Supporting Food Bank in Liverpool, through the GoFundMe link. Thank you very much to Chris Brack. Thank you very much to Kev O'Sullivan. I've been your host, Matt. Gav and the boys will be back in just a shade over 2 hours, and I cannot recommend highly enough in the meantime, in about a half an hour, Chiefs and Bills kicks off, and it'll probably be the best NFL game of the entire season. So go watch some really good football. But Liverpool 4, Bournemouth 0. Cheers to the Reds. See you later.